Hi everyone, share my screen and we'll be able to start. So here we go. My presentation today is about conflict management within the spectrum of organizational leadership. As we know, conflict is inevitable part of any workplace, but how leaders choose to address can determine whether it fosters growth or create divisions. Throughout this presentation, we will explore different leadership styles and conflict management strategies to develop a deeper understanding of effective resolution techniques. So, conflict often viewed as a negative thing, but it is a necessary part of growth in any organization. When managed correctly, it can drive innovation and strengthen teams. Leader must approach conflict strategically, ensuring that their action promote problem solving rather than division. Today, we will examine different leadership styles and their approaches to conflict resolution. As we know, leaders are not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to conflict management. Some inspire changes, others enforce structure, and some focus on the needs of their teams. Leadership style heavily influences how conflicts are approached and resolved. Beyond leadership styles, emotional intelligence and cultural awareness significantly impact the effectiveness of conflict resolution. The first type of leadership is transformational leadership. It inspires teams by focusing on shared vision. Instead of seeing conflict as a barrier, they see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. A great example is how a technology firm handled a merger by using transformational leadership to align two different teams in one unified culture, ultimately reducing conflict and fostering innovation rather than problems across teams. The second type of leadership is transactional leadership. It uses clear structure and reward system to resolve conflict. This method is highly effective for resolving immediate issues, but often does not address deeper underlying tensions. One example for that is, like a retail chain using strict policy guidelines to handle dispute among store managers. So while the dispute was settled quickly, it did not address long-term concerns about workload distribution. Another type of leadership is servant leadership. This style prioritizes the need of team members, believing that people perform best in a supportive environment. By listening to concern and facilitating open discussion, servant leaders can create resolutions that benefit all parties involved. In one nonprofit organization, a leader helped resolve budget conflict by restructuring allocation based on collective input, ultimately fostering teamwork. So, conflict resolution, just like leadership, is not a one size fits all approach. Leaders must adapt their strategies based on the situation and people involved. Some conflicts require open collaboration, while others need negotiation or mediation. Choosing the right strategy ensures conflicts are resolved effectively and constructively. A collaborative approach to conflict resolution allows all stakeholders to contribute to finding a mutually beneficial solution. One example is a multinational corporation where marketing and research and development teams clashed over a product at lunchtime. A collaborative leader organized joint meeting to align their goals, leading to a phased launch that plan that satisfied both departments. Now, we're going to examine different ways to deal with conflict. One way is avoidance and accommodation. This style is often used when leaders want to prevent immediate escalation. However, unresolved conflict can resurface later, sometimes with greater intensity. For example, in a manufacturing plant, a manager avoided addressing tension between senior engineers. The conflict eventually led to a decreased collaboration and project delays. Another strategy is negotiation and mediation. Those are crucial tools for resolving dispute fairly. Again, in the same company, a tension between management and unionized employees over wages could have resulted in a strike. A mediator facilitated negotiation, helping both sides reach a fair agreement. This prevented work stoppage and ensured continued operations. Now we're going to talk about the role of emotional intelligence. It is critical in managing workplace conflict effectively. Leaders with high emotional intelligence can recognize emotions in themselves and as well in other people, allowing them to de escalate conflict and foster understanding. Again, like an example is, when a project manager in a software firm used AI to address team friction, helping team members communicate better and work more harmoniously. Uh, Next, we're going to talk about building a conflict positive culture. It normalizes disagreement as a means for growth and innovation. Leaders must create an environment where conflict can be addressed constructively. For instance, a healthcare organization implemented quarterly conflict resolution workshop that improved communication and reduced workplace tension. Open discussions, training programs, and inclusive policies are key elements of fostering a healthy conflict culture. To illustrate these principles in action, we're going to talk about a case study in a global consulting firm. Regional offices often clashed over client acquisition strategies. The servant leader facilitated discussion between offices, encouraging them to share best practices and align on unified strategy. This not only resolved the conflict, but it strengthened the firm approach to global business development. Even with strong leadership, challenges arise, biases, fear of changes, limited resources can obstruct effective conflict resolution. However, training and structured diversity initiatives can help. As an example, a financial service firm introduced unconscious bias training, which improved inclusivity and reduced conflicts related to cultural misunderstanding. Addressing these barriers proactively strengthen an organization's resilience to conflict. Now we're going to talk about key takeaways from this presentation. So, to summarize, conflict, when managed effectively, can be a powerful tool for innovation and collaboration. Leaders who develop emotional intelligence and foster conflict positive culture can turn dispute into opportunities for growth. Proactively training teams and implementing structured conflict management strategies will strengthen an organization's overall effectiveness. So a practical example is, first leaders should assess their current conflict resolution styles and refine their approach as needed. Organizations should implement proactive strategies like open door policies and mediation process. Additionally, providing employees with conflict resolution training ensures long-term success and foster a collaborative work environment. The future implication are as the workplaces evolve, so does conflict resolution approach. Remote work, diverse teams, and technological advancement present new challenges for leaders. Future research should explore how AI and digital collaboration tools can aid in conflict management. Leaders must remain adaptable, continuously refining their skills to meet the demand of an ever-changing work environment. Uh, This slide was meant for an open Q&A session, but we can use the discussion post to, answer question and, like have discussions in there. So I'm gonna move on from those slides and keep going. So in conclusion, conflict should not be feared. It's an opportunity for growth. With strong leadership, emotional intelligence, and proactive strategies, organization can harness conflict to drive innovation and improvement. Understanding different leadership styles and conflict management strategies gives us tools to navigate challenges effectively. In the next slide, those are the sources that I used for my research paper. And thank you all for your attention.